Yes, guys, welcome back to More GBFC. Today, we are here to talk about Crystal Palace. What an incredible FA Cup semi-final. 3-0 winners over Aston Villa at Wembley. I'll be honest, I didn't see this coming. I thought Aston Villa were going to win. Oliver Glasner, Crystal Palace, they had other plans. It was a truly remarkable performance. And again, massive credit needs to be given to Oliver Glasner because what he's done with this Crystal Palace team this season is he's made them super solid all over the field today. We're going to focus on Dean Henderson. I want to talk about Maxence Lacroix. I want to talk about Adam Wharton. Is this guy going to be the next £100 million midfielder in the Premier League? I know it's a rogue statement. I know it's a big shout. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. And then, of course, the game was won by Palace's attackers today. And I also want to talk about Mateta, who despite missing a penalty, and look, when you see this image on the screen, I don't know about you, but I feel like he was always going to miss this penalty. I don't know why, but I want to speak positively about him because I think as a striker, he's one of the best in the Premier League. Absolutely brilliant from him. But let's take a little look at the game. As you can see, Crystal Palace take the lead after 31 minutes with an unbelievable I am him moment goal. Look at this picture. If that isn't screaming I am him, I don't know what is. It's a thumping finish from Eze. In the middle of the goal, basically, Emi Martinez is an eccentric goalkeeper. He loves to make the saves for the cameras, but even he couldn't stop the absolute rocket that was Eberechi Eze's first goal of the game, and it is the only goal he scores of the game because Sarr scores the other two. The second one is a brilliant finish again from Sarr, and then he wraps it up with a beautiful goal at the end of the match. We're going to break down some of the moments, break down some of the goals. But if you look again at the momentum chart, you guys know I love one of these. Aston Villa, very, very attacking dominant throughout the majority of the match. But Palace here missed penalty. They had a couple of other chances, but realistically, it's just clinical again. We said that about Crystal Palace before. When they get the ball to those X-Factor-esque kind of players in the final third, quite often, they make something happen. But to break this game down further, I want to talk individually about some of these Crystal Palace players. First of all, Dean Henderson. Something very interesting about Henderson this season is this. When it comes to the long ball, something that we don't really see too often these days in the Premier League, he's in the top 11% when it comes to launch percentages, which is basically going out there with a classic old school goal kick. You absolutely love to see it. But importantly as well, I want to look at these advanced goalkeeping statistics in the Premier League. Now, this is a bit of a mouthful, but bear with me. Post-shot expected goals per shot on target. Are you still here? I hope so. But when it comes to the quality of shots that is being faced by a goalkeeper, Dean Henderson is 4th this season in the league. And then when it comes to the amount that he's actually let in, top 5 again, when it comes to actually dealing with the shots that he's facing this season, Dean Henderson has become more than a competent goalkeeper. And if we take a look here across this the Crystal Palace team, almost said Man City, 28 years old, he's entering the peak years of his career. You've got defenders here that are physically super sound in this Crystal Palace team. You've got a mixture of experience. The youngest player in the starting 11 yesterday was Adam Wharton at 21. But this guy, we'll talk about him in a minute because I want to talk about Maxence Lacroix first, but he reminds me of like a Michael Carrick. We're going to go forward now though and take a look at Maxence Lacroix, who yesterday was just an absolute beast at the back. 10 clearances, 1 block shot, 4 interceptions, 2 total tackles, won 50% of his duels both on the ground and in the air. Attempts 6 long balls, and he gets 4 of them correct. What the brilliant thing that Oliver Glasner has done with Maxence Lacroix is move him into this central position. When he was playing at Wolfsburg predominantly as a wide centre-back, he wasn't as good when it comes to actually just being solid in the back line, and Oliver Glasner has just made that position his own. Mark Guehi yesterday, again, captain's performance. I thought he was excellent in the game. 6 clearances as well, winning the majority of his aerials and his ground duels too. And again, attempting those long balls. Crystal Palace, they have got the players with the technical ability in the middle of the park to receive the ball, and then players like Wharton, who we have to talk about, that we're going to go into in a moment. Progressive passes from him. It's brilliant. So you've got the variance here for Crystal Palace, which also summarises why so often when Palace are winning football matches, they don't have to have the majority of the attacking momentum because they can make things happen with a long pass from very competent ball-playing defenders, but they can also play through the middle as well. So Adam Wharton is the next player that I want to talk about here. If we take a look at the baseline statistics from him yesterday, average performance 7.1, but that doesn't tell the story. This man was absolutely brilliant. 5 out of 7 ground duels. But I want to focus on the Crystal Palace goals in particular here, because the penalty that Mateta actually ends up missing is all because of the proficiency when it comes to seeing the game. Adam Wharton, you can see this moment here. If it was me, right, I played at Wembley twice. If I'm getting in this position, I'm shooting, especially after seeing Eze score that incredible goal. But what Wharton does so well is make that quick brain decision to play the ball into an area where Palace have got attacking runners, and inevitably the foul is made, penalty is given, Mateta misses it, which is unfortunate. But for the goal that they score, the second Crystal Palace goal, it is absolutely brilliant front foot midfield play from Adam Wharton to make that tackle and get the ball forward immediately. When it comes to reading the game, for this guy to be 21 years old is absolutely brilliant. I also thought I'd whack this up on the screen here as well. Progressive passes per 90, 7.53 for Adam Wharton, and inevitably that does lead to high shot creating action opportunities as well. When you got those Maverick players like your Ezes, your Sarrs, Matetas up front, this is always beneficial. But Adam Wharton, as a central midfielder, interceptions, tackles, and getting the ball forward, this is what you want from a player. And at 21 years old, he's also so good when it comes to combating counter-pressure situations, which is absolutely shown in the build-up to the penalty and by Crystal Palace's second goal. And I remember about a year and a half ago when I think Chelsea were linked with Adam Wharton, right? And I was like, we can't go and buy a player from the Championship, from Blackburn Rovers. What are you talking about? Week after week, especially with a manager like Glasner who understands those individual roles for players on the pitch, Adam Wharton is growing into an absolute machine. And as much as he doesn't get the goals, the assists in this game, I needed to touch upon the work that he does, particularly in the build-up to Ismaïla Sarr's second goal, which inevitably, I think, killed it for Crystal Palace, because Aston Villa at 2-0 down, the Palace fans were going bonkers the whole game. Incredible support from Crystal Palace at Wembley yesterday. But we also cannot talk about this game without speaking about Eze. He was just maverick again. So good. But it was his goal that was magnificent. But Ismaïla Sarr, what a performance from him. You can see he's all over the pitch in terms of that work rate again. The first goal is brilliant. He's just looked up and he's gone for it. And the second goal too, persistence. He was out there the whole game, battling with those Aston Villa defenders. And look, this is an Aston Villa team, right, that were playing against PSG, beating PSG not too long ago. Such an average performance from them, but it's too easy to be like, well, Aston Villa were the favourites. I expected more. I thought Villa were going to win this. I really did. But for Palace to walk away with this with a 3-0 win, and this guy, Jean-Philippe Mateta, who scored one of the goals of the season against Arsenal in midweek. He's everywhere. Everything about this Palace team is dedicated to the hard work of all of these players in different phases of play. Yes, he misses a penalty, but 2 key passes, winning the majority of his ground duels, winning his aerials. They've got a serious striker here in Jean-Philippe Mateta. And I said it at the start of the video, I thought he was going to miss that penalty. He just doesn't look like he's going to score it. But it didn't matter, because Crystal Palace, to a man, all over the field, were so up for this game. Big shout out to Mitchell, who I thought had a good game on the left. Munoz is always a menace on the right. He's got an energy tank like no other, this guy. This is a Palace team. If you watch the post-match, like Oliver Glasner inside the dressing room, he's talking about how he could sense that something amazing could happen with this Palace team. And togetherness is the key. And it's the same with Wolves. Vitor Pereira came in this season. We spoke about it yesterday. And he looked at these players and he's like, right, you're my central defender, Agbadou. The same here for Crystal Palace. Maxence Lacroix as a central centre-back. There is very few better right now in the league. He's seriously good, particularly in this system. Adam Wharton, what a player. He actually reminds me of Michael Carrick. I said it at the start of this video. He was immense yesterday. Eze's got the X factor. What a goal. And Ismaïla Sarr with 2 goals and an assist at Wembley. This is a famous day for Crystal Palace. And look, I hope they go on to win it now. I do. I think Forest against Man City today, we look forward to that game. I think Man City might win, but I said that about Villa. So hopefully it's the weekend of Benson getting it wrong and then swallowing a bit of humble pie and talking about some brilliant football, because Crystal Palace were exceptional. Credit to them. Well done. If you're a Palace fan, enjoy the moment. Look forward to Wembley. Man City, we know that Palace have been able to hurt Man City in the past, but that 5-goal conceded the other week is absolutely still going to be on their mind. Could it be a classic FA Cup final? I back Palace. Those fans, unbelievable. But yeah, let me know what you think's going to happen. If you're a Palace fan, do you want to play Man City and beat the big boys and win it that way? Or would you rather face Nottingham Forest, who you just know on a one-match game day? Do you know what I mean? They can just dig deep, and they've done it all season. Fair play. 3-4-2-1. Again, Crystal Palace on the counters, but controlled. It was so controlled. If you're a Palace fan, let me know your thoughts and feelings. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you do subscribe to More GBFC, because we don't just talk about the big boys here. We talk about football. We talk about everything Premier League, Champions League. We're going to do loads of stuff. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you later.